Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Before I do anything, I just want to mention to the press, once again, we have a multi over here. If you need to plug into the sound, you can do that. I would like to, first of all, thank all of you supporters for coming out. Why are we here today? We are here to save America. That is why we're here. Here, here. And you can count yourself to be very proud among the Patriots who sacrificed either a little work time or a little pleasure time to come out here and do something meaningful. And I truly thank you. We need more of you, and we need to keep this up. Don't get tired. Keep up the fight. I want to also thank Tea Party Patriots. They've sent Jenny Beth Martin here and Brent Bozell and also a couple other folks in support. Also, they help financially support us. I want to thank Media Research Center as well for letting Brent have the day off. DC March for Jobs is also one of our supporters. And let's give a big round of applause for the Henrico Police Department, please. And if things get really wild later today, I'll be seeing more of them, I guess. Okay. A little bit of housekeeping. If you didn't do it, there's a sign-in sheet over here. Please sign in so we can keep up on what's going on. We can keep you informed with our newsletter, etc. You can get a hold of us at richmondteaparty.com if you want to keep up. Also, you can sign a letter to Congressman Cantor. It's already written out for you. You can add a few lines if you want to, put your signature on it. We have envelopes over there. About 4:15, 4:30, we're going to be taking a sack full of letters into Congressman Cantor's office, which is right behind you. You ever see Miracle on 34th Street? Oh, yeah. That's what we're going for here. I also want you to know that during this past week, we basically letter bombed him. He received about 60 or 70 letters from Patriots just like you through the mail. One day, 40 letters went through the mail system. Pretty cool. All right, after you sign letters, I see you've got your signs. This goes from 3 till about 5-ish, and we have Domino's Pizza coming. Everybody gets 2 slices at least, maybe 3. Also, the police are going to block off the street, and we can go together as a unit. If you're attending the town hall, that's in the Marriott. That's the building right over there. That's from 6 to 8 o'clock. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Congressman Cantor declined the offer to show up and talk to his own constituents and the American people at this critical hour. And he's, you know, it's not that hard, is it, to walk 100 yards across a parking lot to be here? That's just me. But later on, you will see DVD clips, high quality, of Congressman Cantor. He'll be answering questions on news shows to the issues we'll be discussing, things like defunding Obamacare, immigration, Syria even. We got the latest stuff. So you'll be able to see his responses to issues, and then you will get portable microphones passed around, and you can tell him exactly what you're thinking. Unless you're a Christian, and then you probably shouldn't say that out loud. Okay. Did I get that from Wizard of Oz? Yeah. Merchandise. You can go on richmondteaparty.com if you want. We have an online store there. One last thing, housekeeping. For safety, you see the Henrico police have blocked off this lane here on the inside. That's a buffer zone between you and the big trucks that come by. We don't want you straying off the sidewalk or the grassy area. Otherwise, we got to build a speed bump out here. We got to get VDOT out here with their shovels and things. We don't want to have to do that. So stay out of the buffer zone, would you please? Okay, let's kick this off. Bill, would you like to lead us in prayer today? Okay. Bill Evans, a veteran of the United States Navy, good friend of mine, who also set up most everything you see around you today, is going to lead us in prayer real quick. Thanks.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for our freedom. Thank you for folks who are willing to stand up and fight for that freedom so that future generations may know your love. We thank you for this beautiful day, Lord. And we ask that you bless everyone here and put ideas in their heads so that we can make a difference. All this I ask in your holy, precious name. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Bill. All right, there's American flags all around you. Pick one, and here we go with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You ever pause and really listen to those words? They're pretty powerful. Key words: republic, under God, I might throw in there, justice for all. Okay, why are we here today? Well, we're here today partly because we're very concerned about the direction of the country. There are certain issues in particular we're going to hit a little harder. The first hour is mostly about defunding Obamacare. We are here on the sidewalk because Congressman Cantor won't fit us in his office or won't come to see us at the town hall. So here we are. We want him to know how we feel, what our views are, and since he won't come, here we are on the sidewalk out here. How many people are 7th District congressional constituents? Look at the hands. Look at the hands. Look, you know what? That is just such a shame. I'm certain, would you all like to be talking to your congressman instead of me? I mean, really?
No.
Well, thank you. You know, that's just a shame. All right, I'm going to make a few remarks, then we're going to have some guest speakers, and that'll take us through about the next half hour or so. We'll have a little bit of press question and answer period, and then we're going to shift gears a little bit. So that's just a preview, but let me start out. As I said, we are here today to save America, and I am not exaggerating. The Obama administration has plagued us all with the most evil piece of legislation ever penned in Washington, D.C. For Obamacare is a mortal blow to the heart of the republic that we just said the Pledge of Allegiance to. Others will tell you that it will raise your premiums, decrease the quality of medical care, cause a shortage of doctors, increase wait times, it'll cost you full-time jobs. It'll hurt business owners. They'll institute death panels. And yes, they will. It'll explode federal spending. It'll grow bureaucracy. It'll break the back of the middle class. It'll unleash 16,000 new IRS agents. And it will further the American people's addiction to government dependency and entitlements. But I'm not going to tell you all that. I'm just going to ask you these questions, and then I'm going to give up the floor. Give me an answer, yes or no. Do you want to lose your doctor? No. Do you want third world quality medical care?
No.
Do you want longer wait times?
No.
Do you want to have less money in your pocket?
No.
Do you want government running your health care?
No.
Do you want Obamacare?
No.
Do you think Congressman Cantor is leading the charge to defund Obamacare?
No.
Then let's let him know what you want him to know, and that is defund Obamacare. And the cheer goes like this. Defund Obamacare, defund Obamacare. Louder. Obamacare. That way. Defund Obamacare, defund Obamacare. Defund Obamacare, defund Obamacare. All right. Now he knows where we stand. If he's sitting behind the glass up there, maybe he just got that message loud and clear. He already knew. Our next speaker, Jenny Beth Martin. Jenny Beth has been in the media more times than I can even count. She's a great spokesman for the Liberty Movement, Tea Party specifically. Jenny Beth Martin is the chief organizer of the Tea Party Patriots national organization, of which Richmond Tea Party is a member. I'm very proud to have her here today. She's a very, very busy person. When she just told me her schedule in the parking lot, I clicked out somewhere around Carolinas. I couldn't even keep up. So this is really a privilege to have Jenny Beth and Brent, frankly, coming and headlining this today. So would you please give a nice warm welcome to Jenny Beth Martin.
Thank you. Thank you. If Obamacare is not ready for big business, big labor, and big government, it's not ready for the American people. It's time for President Obama, Congress, and Congressman Cantor to do the fair thing and exempt America from Obamacare. And the only way to do this is to stop spending our hard-earned tax money on this law while still funding the rest of the government for the next fiscal year. President Obama himself has acknowledged this law is not ready, and he did that when he gave waivers or delay to big business. And that came on the heels of many waivers that had been granted to major labor unions because Obamacare is not ready for them either. After a closed-door meeting with the president, the Democrat senators, and Senator McCain, the Office of Personnel Management decided to exempt Congress and their staff members from the Obamacare exchanges. We, the American people, have not been offered any such waiver, delay, or exemption. We're stuck with an individual mandate for bureaucratic law that the White House admits is simply not ready, while our government picks and chooses which parts of this law to enforce and which special interest groups get exemptions. The heads of the three biggest labor unions in the country told the president that Obamacare is going to shatter their health care and destroy the 40-hour work week. Last week, 40,000 international longshore and warehouse union members quit the AFL-CIO, in part because of President Obama's promise was broken. He promised their members that they would not have tax increases on their benefits. Obamacare breaks that promise. They join the majority of Americans who want nothing to do with Obamacare. In July, Congressman Cantor said this: rather than continuing to delay the predictable pain until another election day has passed, we should scrap this entire law and instead implement a patient-centered reforms before any more damage is done to our economy or health care families depend on. And then he said this, right? We agree with him that if they implement this law, they are going to do damage to our economy and our health care. Congressman Cantor, if you vote to spend our hard-earned tax dollars on this law, You are voting to do damage to our economy and to harm our health care. Whether in the Senate or in the House, those who vote to pay for Obamacare with our hard-earned tax dollars are voting in favor of a law that is not ready for big business, big labor, or big government. Those who vote to pay for Obamacare with our hard-earned tax dollars are voting in favor of destroying the work week that produces the very tax dollars they spend so easily. Those who vote in favor of paying for Obamacare with our tax dollars are voting to exempt themselves from a law they insist we must pay for and we must follow. Congressman Cantor has a choice to make. Stand up for the American people and do what's right for all Americans by funding the entire government and stop spending our money on Obamacare. Or he can stand with the special interest in D.C., big business, big labor, and big government, while sticking this disastrous law on us, the American people. With all the delays, with all the problems, the exemptions, the delays, this choice should be simple. Congressman Cantor, the United States Senate, the United States Congress, do the right thing and exempt America from this law. Thank you very much. And right before I finish, I had a few questions from people asking about our rally next week. We are having a rally on the west lawn of the Capitol. That's the side of the Capitol between the Capitol and the Washington Monument at noon on Tuesday, the 10th. There are only 9 legislative days left prior to the fiscal year beginning on October 1st. Tuesday will be the first full day Congress is back in session after this 5-week-long vacation. We need you, especially those of you from Virginia, to show up again and join us in Washington, D.C. To get information on this and to find out about buses, you can go to exemptamerica.com. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Jenny Beth. Wise words. Our next guest, equally well known in the media. He's a very accomplished author, very intelligent commentator in all sorts of media. I've seen him on TV all over, stations everywhere. We are very honored to have somebody of his stature come to Congressman Cantor's sidewalk today. Would you please put him together for Brent Bozell?
Thank you, Larry. And it's good of you with the Richmond Tea Party to show up today. It shows one thing that's very simple. You love your country. Thank you for that. Obamacare is a train wreck. But those aren't my words. Those are the words of Senator Max Baucus of Montana, who was the chief sponsor of this disastrous law. The question is, where is House Majority Leader Eric Cantor on this law today? It seems like he seems to want it to happen. He's refusing to stop it while telling his fellow Virginians he's doing everything in his power to stop it. Some of the president's closest allies, like Teamster President James Hoffa, was an early endorser of this disaster, but even they today want an exemption from it. Hoffa now says that Obamacare will, and I quote here, destroy the 40-hour work week, which is the backbone of the American middle class. and that it will, quote, hurt millions of Americans. This is the unions saying this, not conservatives. Eric Cantor, you can stop this disaster. Where are you? Polls show that a majority of Americans, including the vast majority of your constituents, Congressman Cantor, do not want this disastrous law and want it repealed. Yet all Democrats and even some Republicans think that the people of Virginia not only should have to live with this law, that you have to pay for this disaster. Because he won't defund Obamacare, Congressman Cantor is effectively saying that the working families in his district must pay for his irresponsibility. The only way to put an end to this is for Majority Leader, I use those words, Majority Leader Eric Cantor, to stand up and say, enough is enough. We are defunding this monstrosity. Defund it, Congressman Cantor. Defund this awful, awful law. The wheels are already coming off Obamacare everywhere we look. Did you know that Delta Airlines has stated that next year alone, Obamacare will cost them, meaning you, if you travel on Delta Airlines, $100 million just next year. Do you work for UPS? If so, have you gotten the memo that your spouse will no longer be covered because of Obamacare? On and on it goes. It turns out that everyone is having to experience the pain of Obamacare. But not everyone. Some people are getting exemptions. Go ahead, boo. I don't care. It's extraordinary to see how many cronies and friends of this administration get exemptions. It's extraordinary to see how the president illegally gave an exemption to big business when he had no constitutional authority to do so. This is a law that the president wanted passed and the House and the Senate passed. What is it about the Republicans that make them unable and so unwilling to put an end to it now that they can? Maybe, just maybe, is because somehow, believe it or not, these same Republicans have quietly exempted themselves. If that, folks, if that isn't an outrage, there is no such thing as outrage. We should be outraged. We should be telling every one of our members of Congress, if you can exempt yourself, exempt America while you're at it. There's very little time. There's very little time to stop this Obamacare train wreck. Massive amounts of taxes, regulations, and subsidies are about to kick in. Once these treacherous things are in place, there will be little, if no chance at all, to roll back what will be the largest and most damaging entitlement program in the history of the United States of America. Unfortunately, Congressman Cantor, along with many Republicans, are on their recess right now and hiding because they don't want to face the people who voted them into those offices with those very nice conference rooms in there, that they can't come out to real America to explain themselves why they won't do what they pledged to you that they would do. Come on out, Congressman Cantor. Come on out and have a talk with us. We're here to tell House, I say it again, Majority Leader Eric Cantor to keep your promise to your constituents and to the rest of America. Eric Cantor, if you really do believe in defunding this monstrosity, it's very simple. Raise your voice with your fellow Congressman Mark Meadows, with Senator Mike Lee, with Senator Ted Cruz, and with so many others who are trying to do the right thing. Congressman Cantor, say no once and for all to defunding Obamacare. Never again are you going to pay for another bill. Never again are you going to put your name on another passed bill that appropriates more money away from the taxpayer of America to this awful, awful law. Congressman Cantor, we need you to keep your promise to the people of Virginia and to join us in this effort. Congressman Cantor, our message to you today is unequivocal. If you fund it, you own it. And we will do everything in our power, everything, to let your constituents know how it is you voted. And it is they who will have the last word on this. Thank you.
Wow. No wonder he gets paid to go on TV and I have to do it for free. You know, he just made me think of something. I just thought of a way to make sure that congressmen are not exempt from Obamacare. Is anybody tracking with me here? Yeah, vote them out. Exactly. If you vote them out and they're not a congressman, they're not exempt, are they? Yeah, I think we stumbled onto something here. Thanks, Brent. My next speaker, believe it or not, Tea Parties are maturing politically. We're growing up. Rallies and flags and everything are necessary and wonderful. It's great to see everybody out here and see all the Gadsden flags, etc. But we're growing up and maturing politically in that we are starting to coordinate our efforts and get in to see legislators and propose legislation to be put on the floor of the State House or the Congress. And part of that effort is that multiple Tea Parties in Virginia have united under the Virginia Tea Party Patriot Federation. We're now going to hear from the head of the Federation here in Virginia, a fellow liberty-loving Tea Party supporter, and his name is Mark Daugherty. Put your hands together for him.
I want to thank Larry and the Richmond Tea Party Action Committees for planning this fabulous event with this great turnout today. And I want to thank Jenny Beth Martin and Brent Bozell for traveling to Richmond today to share their important messages. Now, Ronald Reagan once said that you and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We will preserve for our children the last best hope of man on earth. Now, Obamacare has a rendezvous with destiny, and that destiny is a train wreck. And under Obamacare, the 40-hour work week has a rendezvous with destiny, and that destiny is a 29-hour work week. And under Obamacare, 15,000 spouses of UPS employees have a rendezvous with destiny, and that destiny is termination of their employee health insurance benefits. And as Brent or Jenny Beth said, under Obamacare, Delta Airlines has a rendezvous with destiny, and that destiny is a projected $100 million increase in their health insurance costs. And under Obamacare, the 190 million Americans with private health insurance have a rendezvous with destiny, and that destiny is sharply higher health insurance premiums. And under Obamacare, the left-wing Obamacare navigators have a rendezvous with destiny, and that destiny is a broken GPS in their car so they won't be able to navigate their way out of a paper bag. And under Obamacare, the free health services that are offered under Obamacare have a rendezvous with destiny, and that destiny is those so-called freebies are going to cost an arm and a leg. And under Obamacare, this Obamacare health insurance application has a rendezvous with destiny, and that destiny defund Obamacare. Thank you. Now, let's shift for a moment to a few other destinies of interest. The EPA has a rendezvous with destiny, and that destiny is gas fracking, coal mining, offshore energy exploration, the Keystone Pipeline, and abundant cheap energy for America. And Lois Lerner has a rendezvous with destiny. And that destiny is a House Select Committee on Tea Party targeting and harassment. Chill, chill, chill. The IRS has another rendezvous with destiny, and that destiny is a simple flat tax or fair tax without all the 501c 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gobbledygook. And our $16.7 trillion in U.S. debt plus long-term liabilities has a rendezvous with destiny. And that destiny, if we don't get our act together in the U.S., is the bankrupt country of Greece. And the easy money policy of the Federal Reserve has a rendezvous with destiny, and that destiny is heavy future inflation. And Hillary Clinton has a rendezvous with destiny, and that destiny is a House Select Committee on Benghazi. And Attorney General Eric Holder has a rendezvous with destiny, and that destiny is the unemployment line. Jail. And a date in court. And the NSA has a rendezvous with destiny. And that destiny is the Fourth Amendment in the United States Constitution, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects. And on August 19th, at the General Assembly building in Richmond, the MERC Committee, that's the Medicaid Innovation and Reform Commission, they had a rendezvous with destiny, and that destiny was 700 Tea Party and AFP activists flooding the General Assembly. And finally, Majority Leader Eric Cantor has a rendezvous with destiny. And that destiny is either a personal appearance at the town hall meeting at 6 o'clock at the Marriott or an empty chair. Now, we urge you to contact your Virginia congressman and ask them to co-sponsor House Resolution 2682, which Tom Graves is the chief sponsor for. I checked with Congressman Graves' office out of Georgia yesterday, and only 3 Virginia congressmen have signed on as co-sponsors, Bob Goodlatte, Robert Hurd in the 5th, and Rob Whitman. So I urge you to contact your congressman and ask him to sign on to House Resolution 2682. And furthermore, I spoke with Mark Meadows from North Carolina, congressman, his office yesterday, and of course Mark Meadows has the Meadows letter, and no Virginia congressman, 0 for 11, have signed the Mark Meadows letter, which is a letter addressed to Speaker Boehner and Majority Leader Eric Cantor to proceed with defunding Obamacare. And I might read the last paragraph of this Mark Meadows letter. As many of us have quoted before, James Madison wrote in Federalist number 58 that the power over the purse may in fact be regarded as the most complete and effectual weapon for obtaining a redress of every grievance. We look forward to collaborating to defund one of the largest grievances in our time and to restore patient-centered health care to America. God bless the Tea Party members and free citizens of Virginia who are gathered here today. God bless the U.S. military veterans and active duty service members. Your rendezvous with destiny is to speak out for individual and economic liberty and to fight for our great constitutional republic. Now, Eric Cantor's district office is here, and Washington, D.C. is about 120 miles north of here. So let's, when we shout here in a second, make sure they can hear us not only here at the office, but all the way to D.C. Repeat after me 3 times. Defund Obamacare! Defund Obamacare! Defund Obamacare! Thank you, Patriots.
With your poster. Jenny Beth, would you mind taking a few questions just from your loyal Tea Party supporters? Brent, would you mind coming up and just letting the people here speak with you and just ask a couple of questions? Think of some questions, folks. At this point, we would have a little question and answer period, but, well, he's not here, so you can't ask him. So instead, since we got him here right now, and they're a precious resource not to be wasted, how about we ask a little question and answer period with Brent Bozell and Jenny Beth Martin. Ready? All right, let's do it. Somebody, go ahead.
I had one already. Apparently, some of the staffers from Congressman Cantor's office are telling you that they're not supporting this effort to defund because of mandatory spending. If I got that response from my congressman or senator, my question to them would be, who made it mandatory? And if those people and that legislative body can make it mandatory, are you telling me you don't have the power to stop spending our money on it? I'd also ask how, if it's so mandatory, then why and they can't do anything about it, why has the president been able to delay this for big business? The Office of Personnel Management has been able to create an exemption for Congress and their staff, not through a legislative process. What we're asking for is the constitutional thing to do. It's to move through both chambers of Congress and to be signed by the president. We're not asking for a single stroke of the pen to change the law. And one more question. Some members of Congress's staff are telling you that they are not exempt from this law. The law says they have to live under the Obamacare exchanges. The people across this country who have to live under the Obamacare exchanges are not getting a roughly $5,000 subsidy, paid for with our tax money, by the way, to live under the exchanges like the congressman's staff are getting. And as far as we can tell, that is an exemption that the rest of America does not get.
Questions for Jenny Beth or Brent?
Jenny Beth, your donation website's down today.
Uh-oh, well, I'll have to work on that. But our main website's teapartypatriots.org, and I'll send a text to find out what's going on. Thank you. That may be a good sign.
You don't think that the IRS is defunding teapartypatriots.org, do you?
We've tried.
Yeah. Anybody have a question? We got two real pros here that know a lot about the... Okay, sir. Why wouldn't the Hyde Amendment apply to this? Anybody want to tackle that one? No. All right. Melody, you want to explain it? Later? We'll address that in the town hall, actually. So if you wait, remember, there's a town hall from 6 to 8. Town hall from 6 to 8 at that Marriott. You can see it. It's right there. We're going to be doing a lot of cool stuff over there, and I'll give you a teaser. You won't believe what's hanging on the wall. All right. Any question? Yeah. Hey, Floyd.
This is for Brett.
Brett.
With the research that you're capable of doing, since Eric Cantor is supposed to be a leader in Washington, can you think of anything he has done in the past 4 years to reduce the size of government or reduce government spending? Does he land on anything of a positive nature?
No, look, here's the situation. And it gets to what Jenny Beth said a minute ago. Congress has the power to do lots of things. It's given to it by the Constitution. There is a reason why it's a co-equal branch with the presidency. It is stunning to me that every time there's an opportunity to put an end to this nightmare, there's always an excuse. Always an excuse. There's always tomorrow we'll do it, tomorrow we'll do it. And it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows. But the point you just hit on is the point that I'm making. Majority Leader. Someone needs to send Eric Cantor a memo. You are in the majority, for God's sakes. And you're the leader of that majority. Why are you hiding from the American people? The reason he is there, the reason that Eric Cantor is the majority leader in the House, the reason that the Republicans are the majority in the House is because they pledged to do this, and that's what got them elected. I will tell you this, and I've used to say this privately, I'll say this publicly now. On the eve of the 2010 election, I met with Congressman Boehner privately, and I said to him, Congressman, this is when it was understood that they were going to win the majority, and there was no question about it. I said, Congressman, do you understand that you are not going to win this election? It is the Democrats who are going to lose in 2010, and you're being given one last chance to do things right. And he said, yes, I understand. No, he didn't understand, because they're doing exactly what they did that got them thrown out in 2006. So, if that's what needs to happen, as far as I'm concerned, speaking for myself only here, I just as soon throw the bumps out.
Okay, 2 or 3 more. Wait, it's like an auction. The one that yells, all right, right here in the front row. And then you, promise. And so the question is, if you couldn't hear her, why does the congressman need 3 offices, D.C. and here and wherever else? I can partially answer that, and then I'll turn it over to the pros. He needs an office here to hide in. Okay. All right. Anybody want to tackle this one?
Yeah, I think you're better because you're from Virginia. Maybe he needs another hiding hole.
I do think that there ought to be some kind of legislation that mandates, I used to think, that mandates that members of Congress go home. But I think there needs to be a second one, and it's that they stay home. That's my opinion.
I like it. They asked me on Fox News a couple weeks ago, what do you think Congress should do first when they get back from their recess, their August recess? And I said, clean out their desk and go home. All right, you ready? I'm ready.
Known as Dr. No, seems to usually be on the right side of things. But 2 weeks ago, he voted for this subsidy for congressional staffers and released holding up an appointment of Obama. I don't understand why he would do that. Does anybody know?
All right, put it in a nutshell one more time for Jenny Beth.
Why did Tom Coburn release this appointment when subsidy went through the congressional staff?
I don't know. You've stumped us.
He sold his vote.
Look, I just, from what I can tell, from everything that I've seen come to light, as more and more has been revealed from the IRS targeting and discriminations, the people who are in Congress, they're there too long. And the longer they're there, the more easy it is to go along to get along and to believe what you're hearing in D.C. I go to D.C. as rarely as I possibly can and more often than I'd like to. And when you stand up against the pressure there, it's very immense and it's very difficult, and it may be easier for some people to go along to get along. I really think we need term limits, and I think that some people who moved in, who went into Congress back in the 90s during the Republican Revolution, I think they've forgotten what got them there. I think people who have been there for a very short time, since 2010, have forgotten what put them there. And we have to remind them, we have to keep showing up, and we have to hold them accountable.
One more from this side of the house. Who's had their hand up the longest? All right, and don't forget, some of you can come up here, hopefully today before we leave the sidewalk. We're going to give some grassroots time. And over there, you're going to have a lot of portable microphone time, all spreading out through the crowd. So don't think you're being shut out. Yeah.
The 300-pound gorilla for a lot of Republican Congress professional politicians is the government shutdown in the 90s. Now, I understand that as far as the congressional delegation goes, it wasn't a disaster. In fact, after they picked up a couple seats in the Senate, as
lost some in the House, but the other thing was that was when Newt Gingrich was there. A lot of people didn't like his personality, and it wasn't about an issue like this, which covers such a huge part of the economy, and which a majority of the country doesn't want.
Absolutely. So that's a good speech. Do you have a question, or shall we just leave it right there? Okay, here comes Brent.
About the political.
I'm right there with you, buddy. Here's Brent. He's going to comment on it.
You go first, and then I'll.
You know what gets me angry about that? It's as if the only thing they care about is politics in Washington, D.C. The policy doesn't matter. The right thing to do doesn't matter. The principle doesn't matter. The question is, will it hurt me with my reelection chances? Anyone who says that or who thinks that has been there too long. But if we're going to look at politics, fine, let's look at politics. Since before it passed, it's been unpopular. The moment it passed, Obama went on the road still trying to sell it. To this day, they're still trying to sell it because the American people still don't want it. So for all those calculating politicians, all you need to look at is that. I'll say something else. For the professional Republicans, the professional so-called conservatives, Karl Rove and company, it is you who cost the Republicans the House and the Senate with your policies. It is you who ushered in the era of Obama. It is you who is responsible for Obamacare. It is you who spent hundreds of millions of dollars last year and have nothing to show for it. Please stop giving me lectures on how to run politics.
I agree with what Brent has said, and the way I've answered this often when I'm asked is I'm not concerned about the next election right now. I am concerned with what is right for America. And I know what is right for America is to ensure that we are all still treated equally in this country. We're in a country where all men are created equal, not where Congress and their staff are above the law and they expect us to pay for them to stay in their positions of power. If they want to win with the American people, stand up for Americans and do what's right. And remind Americans that it's the president who delayed this for big business. It's the president's administration who wrote that exemption for Congress. But if they stand by and vote to fund it, it's as good as allowing it to happen.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Don't leave yet. Jenny Beth, Brent, thank you so much for coming. We're honored to have you here. At this time, we would present them with a really shiny, expensive gift, but the IRS is watching all of us so closely that we can't do that. All right? But I will say that probably both Media Research Center and TeaPartyPatriots.org, I know, have a way to donate to them. And as a gift to them for showing up today, feel free to donate for what you just heard. Thank them with your applause. Thank you. Thank you both. Okay, we believe strongly in the Tea Party that it's not just about professional, slick politicians. In fact, the less the better of that. That it's all about you, the volunteers, the grassroots, and we're going to start hearing from us. I've got a few people who requested to speak beforehand. I'm going to give up some microphone time to them. I know a couple of them very well. They have good things to say. And then anybody in a little bit, anybody that would like to come up and say 30 seconds to 2 minutes or so, you'll be welcome to. But in the meantime, we got a few grassroots type people. I'm going to start off first with my friend Bill Evans. He's a veteran of the United States Navy. He rose to the rank of, was it 6-star Admiral? I think, no? Okay, 5 only. Couldn't fit any more on his collar, so they stopped him there. But no, Bill Evans, he worked for a living. He was a non-commissioned officer. I've got a lot of respect for him, and like I said, he's responsible for a lot of the setup that you see out here today. He's going to talk to you for just a few minutes. I like his words. Here you go. Here's Bill Evans, one of us.
Hey, you guys. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on in Washington. Before I do, I want you to know that we the people decided long ago that we live in a republic. A republic. If you're not sure what that is, check the dictionary. We decided we would do that without a king or a king government, where the people are in charge of the government, not the other way around. Progressives have fought hard to change our unique way of life with a progressive United Nations, a new world order. I am not politically correct, but I am correct. Politically correct people march hand in hand with progressives, and progressives have hijacked this country. They are in both parties, and they are addicted to power. Progressives want to control you with that power, and they will if we allow 13 million new illegal progressives to overrun the system. Progressives care more about their power than the Constitution, the country, or you. And have proven that by not standing on moral principles. They have made clear that they desire to control every facet of your life, from your health care to your diet, from Common Core education to your guns, from an unsecure border to amnesty, from freedom of speech to the seizure of your data, because they know what's best for you. I think not. Don't spy on me, bro. Don't you do it. They have accomplished this by having a media that refuses to report fairly or report at all. They've served up race-based distraction in order to silence you. They have sold us all a bill of goods on the emotional premise that we are an uncaring, mean-spirited, woman-hating party. Now the latest distraction of war. Oh. In order to take the focus off the looming financial demise of our nation, knowing full well that you will vote for any Republican, regardless of error, in order to stop that progressive Democratic agenda. We've all heard this. We need a candidate who is willing to compromise. No! We need a candidate who will stand on principle, one who will say what they mean and mean what they say. Compromise has gotten us into a national catastrophe. Compromise has gotten us financial ruin and moral decay. It has, in fact, kept the Rhino Republicans in office, thus making the parties the same. We don't need two Democratic parties. That notwithstanding, we will no longer sit by idly and hope that the Republican Party will do the right thing, or that they will do what we the people have put them in office to do. We will, in fact, take this party back to a place of sanity. Remember, progressives are in both parties. It is no longer about left and right. It is about right and wrong. It's about freedom or serfdom. Progressives will do or say anything to stay in office. So, Mr. Cantor, I tell you now, we will not allow the Republican Party to march hand in hand with the progressives. We will do everything in our power to remove you and all progressives from office. We will use every tool in our arsenal to strip you of your power and restore a conservative candidate who will defend the Constitution, who will defend the people from tyranny, and who will stand on moral principle. Your gamble is that we will vote for you. Make no mistake. Make no mistake. You would be wrong to think that we would allow you even one more term. We will vote for anyone who would stand on principle before we would vote for a rhino Republican who would sell us out at every turn in order to maintain their power. Tea parties across this nation, I call on Tea parties across this nation to send a true, just, and upright candidates to Washington. Leaders who will serve the people. Leaders who will take an oath. Leaders who will stand on moral principle and will bring back a country founded on Judeo-Christian values. And sir, you and your power will be gone. God bless you all in our fight for freedom, in our fight for our God and our country. Teach your children how important freedom is, because it can be gone that fast.
Wow. That just shows you what's beating in the hearts of the average Tea Party supporter right there. You don't need to be a professional politician. He knows what's going on, does he not? Oh, my goodness. All right, Bob Shannon, are you still here? All right, Bob Shannon's going to come up. He's the leader of the Mechanicsville, or rather the stray cat corraller organizer of the Mechanicsville Tea Party. He's the guy with Bob Keeler that's responsible for all the beautiful signs out in Hanover County and et cetera. Yeah, this is the guy. How many do you have now? 200 some? About 175 signs. And, only a few accidents from people trying to read them when they go by. Whoa. Okay, Bob Shannon's got about 2 minutes worth of things he'd like to say. Here we go. Bob?
Thank you, Larry. Sure. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming out today and supporting what is a wonderful effort of the Richmond Tea Party. Let's give Larry a hand. This is leadership. I'm going to tie into what Bill just said, but I'm going to be a little bit more direct and a little bit more harsh. For those of you that know me, that shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. 3 months ago, Rush Limbaugh said on his radio program, Republicans don't want smaller government. They just want to take turns running it. Yesterday, Matt Drudge said in the Drudge Report, the difference today isn't between the Democrats and the Republicans. The difference is between the Democrats and Republicans and the Libertarians. On August the 13th at the Bull and Bear Club downtown, John Taylor, president of Tertium Quid and host of the Tuesday morning group, said this: Republicans will not change until they know you will not vote for them. Let me repeat that. Republicans will not change until they know you will not vote for them. I don't know about you, but every election cycle, they come around and plead their case and tell us the conservative principles that they're going to adhere to this time. How many times are you going to come to rallies like this, but walk into a voting booth in November and vote for the lesser two evils? It's time to fight. John Taylor said it. They will not change until they know we will not vote for them. In November, act like a trained seal or cast a vote of conscience. Thank you for your time today, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, Bob. Okay, next up is Shak Hill. Where are you?
Sir.
Shak, where are you? There you are. This is Shak Hill, everybody. Guess what? He wants to put a Democratic senator out of a job. I think that's worth applause right there. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Shak Hill, and I'm running to replace Mark Warner in 2014. It is so great to see you out here being a lover of our country and a lover of our Constitution, and I think you're going to be impressed when you take a look at me, because we need to get rid of Mark Warner and we need to get rid of Harry Reid. You know, I'm a father of 6, and since 1997, my wife and I have been foster parents, and we have fostered 46 children in that time frame. So thank you. When we foster children, we don't think of them as being white or black or brown or purple or polka dotted, because they're American children in search of the American dream. And you know this as well as I, the American dream is slipping away from us, and we need to get it back. From now on, I do not want you to ever call it Obamacare. Do not call it Obamacare. Start calling it Mark Warner Care. Because Mark Warner was the 60th vote. If he voted no, we don't have this. But he voted yes. So in time, we're building a site, markwarnercare.com. Make sure you take a look at that. One of the biggest things about Mark Warner is I've been going through the crowd, everybody's been saying, well, good luck and God bless. When you think about that, I wonder how many people go to Mark Warner and say, I'm praying for you. I wonder how many people go to Obama and say, I'm praying for you. If Obama was going to quote one of our founding fathers, who would it be? I need your prayers and I need your blessings, and I want everyone here to pray for me in this race. We are great as a nation for 2 primary reasons. 1, we believe in inalienable rights, starting with life, and then liberty, and then uniquely property. Property has a unique characteristic with our search for happiness. We also have an inalienable right to carry a weapon, not only to defend ourselves, but to defend ourselves against the government if there's overreaching. We also have these rights given to us
by our Creator. And ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of people in Congress, there's a lot of people right now representing us, and they think they have the rights, and they think they're giving them to us. We're the ones who started it. We started it in Virginia, and it's in Virginia we're taking our country back. The federal government is clearly overreaching its constitutional bounds. I don't need to tell you this, but I'll just sum up my comments to you because I'm already getting the hook. My comments are this: the federal government does not belong in our health care. The federal government does not belong in our education. The federal government does not belong in our energy explorations and the other things that are left to the states or the people. I come as a citizen legislator coming out of my small business. I live a comfortable life up in Northern Virginia. I'm a decorated combat pilot, having served in our country as United States pilot.
What branch? What branch?
United States Air Force.
Navy.
And I'm going to promise you this: I will honor your vote by keeping my faith and being beholden to you, being beholden to the Constitution, and being beholden to our Creator. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Shak Hill. Check it out. I've got some flyers if you don't mind. Take a look at the website. If you have any opportunities for me to speak to your group, I'd love to come speak to your group and to help me learn a little bit more about what you're looking for and to help you all learn a little bit more about me. We need to get rid of Mark Warner. We need to get rid of Mark Warner Care. And we need to get rid of Harry Reid. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
I was a naval aviator. We don't have pilots in the Navy. Well, we do, but they drive tugboats. Just thought I'd bring that up. And nasal radiator. Yes, that's me. And then our chairman of the board, he's my boss, walked by, and then I remembered he was in the Air Force too. And there he is. Oh, I don't know about that. All right, Army, Air Corps, Air Force, what's the difference? All right, we got a bunch of letters in here. We got a bunch. There are still letters and envelopes over there. If you have not signed a letter to Congressman Cantor and would like to do so, now's the time. We're going to have one more speaker, and then we're going to chow into this Domino's pizza that's definitely staying warm in the sun over here. So we're going to have one more speaker. Anybody else that would like to say something, you'll have your opportunity between 6 and 8 in that nice, comfortable Marriott over there. That town hall is going to be really cool. Fox News called. They want to put this on TV tonight. That's kind of nice. I said, well, think about it. So you got about 2 or 3 minutes to pop a letter in here if you haven't done so. In the meantime, Suzanne, where's Suzanne? Would you like to speak now? Okay. Suzanne Urcink, did I say that right? Is going to speak to us for about 2 minutes, and then we'll actually take, I want the 7th, how many people, 7th District? Before you walk away, okay. You're not walking away, you're signing letters. 7th District people are going to be taking these letters into his office. So right after Suzanne speaks, that's what we're doing. We promise we'll leave you a little pizza left, okay? All right, Suzanne.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. My speech is on Syria. Congressman Cantor has said that there is a compelling national security interest to prevent and respond to weapons of mass destruction, especially by a terrorist state like Syria. This sounds very much like doublespeak when we are supporting the Syrian rebels who are al-Qaeda jihadists by sending millions of dollars, supplying armor and heavy weapons, while they are chanting death to Americans and saying they will slaughter without compromise. These are not moderates. It has been promised that no U.S. foot soldiers will be there, yet there are reports that Marines are on the border of Syria and Jordan. You are supporting an administration that has been less than genuine. It is disingenuous about the IRS scandal, Fast and Furious, and supporting the instability in Egypt by the Muslim Brotherhood. Doublespeak is when you are supporting amnesty, when you know that a good percentage of these immigrants coming across the border are jihadists. Where is your sense of national security for the borders of Arizona and Texas? Why aren't you calling for the resignation of Eric Holder for Fast and Furious? You were instrumental at throwing the Department of Defense under the bus when other nations were very busily building up their defense. Iran, Russia, and China know our weaknesses. This does not seem like the time to be militarily throwing in our might. In your letter I received only yesterday addressing this issue, you said that it is a national security issue. I would suggest our meddling in other countries' civil war is just that. The United States is instrumental in undermining the stability of Egypt, ushering in the Muslim Brotherhood that began immediate assault on its neighbors and Christian citizens. These people butchered citizens and torched churches. This president undermined the stability of Libya, leading directly to our enemies celebrating the anniversary of 9/11 by torturing our Ambassador Chris Stevens along with fellow American citizens while we watched and everyone was silent. While Cantor's vote, he is still not supporting the same Muslim Brotherhood and al-Qaeda in Syria. The magnitude of what you're about to set in motion is unthinkable. If we didn't want a superstate in the Middle East, we would not aid our enemy and definitely not devastate our defense. To top this all off, I'm pretty sure our military didn't sign up to fight for al-Qaeda. Yes, sir. These decisions are contrary and only serve to serve chaos. What is this administration doing? It's allowed Russia and Iran to be clear winners in this, but this chaos was set into motion by an impotent Congress. Why aren't you listening to your constituents? You're not the government. We are the government. And without us, you would not be there. You are to act as our agent. Your constituents will be no longer silenced. So remember these words. You have awakened a sleeping giant. Thank you.
Okay, we will be discussing Syria, by the way, tonight at the town hall, and we will see a very recent response by Congressman Cantor on the news. We'll be able to comment and talk about that. I just want to make one quick announcement. Fred Gruber, can you please talk inside? I said be flexible, so we'll do that. All right, that's going to conclude the speakers for now. What I want to do is very quickly pay very close attention. So if you're talking to your neighbor, say, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Shh. Shh. I don't want people coming up to me 50 times. Now, where are we supposed to go? When are we supposed to be? All right, here's what we're going to do. Right now, they're finishing up the letters. There were some people that wanted to get them in the bag. We're going to put them in this blue bag. 7th District people, you're going to meet right out here in the parking lot, and I will go with you. He used to be my congressman, but I wisened up and moved to Powhatan, and now I don't have to live under Congressman Cantor anymore. So I'll go with you as far as the door, but then I want you to go see your congressman and take some letters into his office and just tip that bag upside down on the first intern's desk you see and let him know he's got mail today. If for whatever reason you can't get into his office, I'm sure there's a very friendly receptionist in the lobby of the building that would be happy to take them from you and deliver them first thing tomorrow. Okay? So that's what we'll be doing. So that's first. In the meantime, the rest of you can start eating some pizza. Then we won't have lines that are too long. I want to remind you, when this is wrapping up and we've had our fill of pizza, the Henrico police are going to block off some of this street here, and we are going to go over to the Marriott. That's from 6 to 8. Very cool. You won't want to miss that. We sold 250 tickets for it. One more thing, and that is, everybody remembering all this? Okay. Well, never mind. I don't see. Never mind. Let's just go with that. So, 7th District people over here with your letters. I'll go with you. The rest of you can start eating pizza. At the given time, the police will block off the street. We'll go over to the Marriott together. Thank you very much for your attention. I'll see you in a little while. I knew what it was. Here it is. There are buses going to Washington, D.C. on the 10th. You got to get on Tea Party Patriots.org website to see that, or check back at our website, richmondteaparty.com. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have some details on that for you. Thank you for the reminder. That was it.
Shoot me an email.
They were, like I said, at 2:30 they had a meeting and they were doing a press conference outside. I didn't see anything. Hello, Barry. I wasn't ignoring you. Did you get my message? I wasn't ignoring you.
No, I was talking over there. Could you repeat what you just said?
Oh, stop. I knew you'd do that.
I'm gonna go with you.
I think the
Get my
cameraman
camera
wants to
off
talk
and
to
go
you.
into the building like a dumper.
That's cool.
All right. Let's see if you can. No, I don't need the case.
You want to unlock the car and put
Yeah.
stuff in there? I don't know how to fold this thing up. I
There's
forget.
a button. You gotta be careful.
I think it was easier when it was upside down, but
Here's the button.
yeah, I can get it. I just, yeah.
One says you gotta pull it. You don't get your
I've done it
fingers.
before. Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Want to just stick it on the back seat then, or
Huh? Yeah, you can lay it across.
well, unlock it?
All right, hold on. Okay.
You need that case.
Now I'm gonna put this inside the car. Almost. Just gotta put my tripod in the car.
We can get the pizza on the back. Yeah.
That up. That's open. Let me get. Yeah. I think I did. You want to check it?
What about states' rights?